with your daily coordinates. Hey, today I want to talk to you about a news diet, which is obviously different than a food style diet. A news diet is really about focusing on how much negative information we let into our emotional and mental systems every day. And the sad part about that is a lot of studies have been done on the news, and they find in a report by Psychology Today, they found that about 90% of the news feeds that we receive, whether it's on our nightly news channels or on cable or on social media, about 90% of that information is negative. And many people say, oh, well, maybe it's not that negative, it's just reality. And the fact of it is that the news channels of any site, whether it's Facebook or whether it's the nightly news or cable news, knows that our biology is organized in such a way to pay attention more to negative information than it is positive information. And biologically, we're hardwired for that. We are certainly wired in a way that if there's a bear in the woods, we're going to pay a lot more attention to that than a flower in the woods, because not paying attention to the bear will often produce a very negative consequence, even for us tribally to be eaten or attacked. Where paying attention to that really attractive flower out in the landscape really can be a nice way for us to engage the day, but it may or may not produce any immediate positive outcome. So we're hardwired to pay attention to that bear, to a berry that might kill us. And the negative news cycle takes advantage of our biology in that regard. So it feeds us to contain our attention and retain our attention negative information on a regular basis, to keep us captivated and to sell us, quite frankly, they're commercial wares. So many of them are just organized to sell us more products or services. So they have to retain our attention. That's why about 90% of the information is negative. The average American also is reported to spend about an hour to hour and 15 minutes. And some folks I know spend entirely more information consuming news, and that negativity permeates them. But the fact of it is even in the GPS challenge, there's so many people and so many projects that are absolutely positive. The ratio to negative to positive outcomes isn't nearly what the news report. So many people are engaged in positive activities, having positive outcomes, whether it's getting in better shape, whether it's getting their finances in an improved condition, whatever it might be. But we don't hear that because, quite frankly, it doesn't create those cortisol levels in our body that captivate our attention. We know in the journalistic cycle that they talk about out there that if it bleeds, it leads, so to speak. And positive news does not bleed, but that does not mean it's not true. It's not real. So I would suggest, in terms of thinking about your diet, in terms of how you think, is first be aware of how much time you spend consuming news, and try to cut that down to a measured time. Using your screen time on your phone is a good way to do that. Also, just shutting the TV off and not consuming or having the TV roar hours of negative news. It's not good for you. It's not good for, quite frankly, it's not real. There's not that much negativity in the overall environment. And it really promotes that the consequences of a risk to rewards aren't really even. And they are. So be aware, try to cut screen time on your phone. Also just shut the TV off and look for positive things. You quite frankly have to look a little harder. They're not sold as frequently. So take a news diet, try to cut it down at least to maybe no more than 30 minutes. You can get everything you need in about 30 minutes and spend the rest of your time reading nonfiction.